And I think we should be live. Hello everyone and welcome back to Gavra Racing. We're here for another GT7 event at the Red Bull Ring in the Group 3 cars. Before we get started though, I'm just going to do the usual check to see if all my audio settings are good to go. I hope you enjoyed the event 2 weeks ago that we ran at Daytona. This one taking place at the Red Bull Ring in Austria, a race that has provided so much action in the past, and a track that does provide the possibility of wet weather running. So we could get the first dry to wet or wet to dry race in GT7. We'll have to wait and see though, because we're here for a 12-minute qualifying session. We're 2 minutes in. We opened the lobby 10 minutes early to allow drivers to join the lobby. We're still ironing out a few details before we get the season started, so that we can, find a way of doing qualifying, as they haven't added qualifying yet. You can see in the bottom left we've been going for 14 minutes and 30 seconds, which means we've had 2 minutes and 30 seconds because I opened the lobby at 10 to the hour. At the hour we started the quali session. That sounded like someone spinning off, or at least drifting through the corners. Anyway, Danny Fox, a new driver to Gavra Racing, has put it on provisional pole, 4.5 tenths clear of Bon Evil on the hards. Look like everyone opting for the hards. A setter going for the mediums. Another new driver to Gavra Racing. Pierre on the hards, Joe Black on the mediums, Dan Schneider on the mediums, Pete Pip on the mediums, and Play Dutchy on the hards. So we do have a nice mix of tyres, and we have all 5 tyres available for this race: the softs, mediums, hards, intermediates and wets, and there are no tyre requirements, meaning you can make as many pit stops as you like. You can make one or none. You can use mediums, you can go hard, you can do whatever tyre strategies you like. There are no restrictions. This session did start sunny. Riding on board with Danny Fox in the McLaren, you can see it's getting a little bit cloudy over the hills here in Austria. It's annoying I'm not on the keyboard anymore, because GT7 no longer provides the use of a keyboard in the spectator cam, but we can still get all the different camera shots we need. It's just a shame we don't have the replay feature. We didn't stream qualifying in Daytona because of all the issues we had and trying to experiment with different things. So yeah, here we go. The first qualifying session of GT7 that is actually going to be streamed. And for qualifying, we can actually jump in the car ourselves if we think it's going to rain, because if I just back out, it is just the practice lobby. As you can see, I've got all the information on the left about the grid. We've got all the settings as well. Let's get all the things back up on the screen. So yeah, Danny Fox still on pole position, but his advantage has been dropped to about 1.5. I need to keep an eye out on the time to let everyone know when there's 5 minutes left. Is that someone off in the pit lane? It's a setter making a pit stop, and he's got front bumper damage. The grid is fairly spread apart, although Pierre is about to improve on his time and go up into 5th place ahead of a setter in the Peugeot. We're approaching the 5-minute mark, so I better get ready to send the message letting everyone know that there's 5 minutes left of qualifying. It looks a lot drier or clearer into turn 1 than it does the other end of the track. Let's get this message sent in. 5 minutes, oh, not minutes, minutes left. As it goes 8:07 in the UK, that's when there are 5 minutes left. It's a 12-minute qualifying. We're 7 minutes in. I'll do the same for 2 minutes, and then I'll start the race. Let's have a look. Let's have an onboard actually of Wolfie using the new spectator camera that has been added to the game. Wolfie running in 4th position so far. Dan Schneider and Dutchy have made it a Dutch 1-2. Wolfie 1.5 seconds off the pole time in the run up towards turn 2 through turn 3. He is improving on his 1:30.8. Hooks the apex up nicely on the inside. I believe he's in the Subaru, based on the sound of the car. I can't actually remember what he's in, but it's a short, medium-ish run down towards turn 4, one of the longest straights, the 3rd longest straight at this track. Brakes nice and early, takes all the curb on the inside before using all the curb available on the outside of the track. Foot flat to the floor as he builds through the gears, braking at the 50-metre board for turns 6 and 7, I think. I'm not too sure if the King Khaki turn 4 counts as turn. I think it does, so this makes it 6 and 7. He is still improving A little bit cautious on the throttle in towards 8. Those two orange yellow boxes is the penalty gate where drivers collect a penalty. That is where they will serve it in the race. 2 downshifts from 5th to 3rd, back up to 4th through the final corner. Uses the curb on the inside. You can take that a little bit more of that curb than in comparison to like the F1 game. Up to the line for Wolfie, goes up into 3rd place ahead of Danny Fox on the front row of the grid. Darren Schneider, a second clear of Dutchy though on medium tyres, so that is roughly where you want to be on the mediums. Dutchy picks up a 5/10 penalty on the exit of turn 1. That is his lap invalidated. 3 minutes left to go in qualifying. I know you can't see it, but I've got a stopwatch up on my phone and keeping an eye out on the bottom left. We started this lobby at 10 to 8 UK time, and qualifying is 12 minutes long. So when that timer in the bottom left essentially reaches 22 minutes, that is when qualifying will be over. Let's see if Piero can promote himself any higher than 6th place. Runs a little bit wide at the final corner. Doesn't look like this lap is going to be an improvement. Already in the 1 minute 30, so he might have backed off on the previous lap, but he's got Bon Evil Slipstream ahead of him to maybe set a good lap. Ted, 7 thousandths off Piero. Let's get that message sent in the chat before I forget. 2 minutes left as we reach the 20-minute mark since the lobby was opened. Joe Black rounding out the grid in the Volkswagen VGT. The second time, or the only driver to use this car in a Gavra racing race. He's currently 8 seconds off Pete Bibb, but it doesn't look like he's set a lap. He's on an out lap, so this could be his final lap. Ted with a 5/10 penalty. He won't be improving, nor will Piero. Bon Evil might improve in the McLaren, a very nice car with a very nice livery on it. Jensen buttons, I believe. The beautiful Sky livery, I have to say, is one of my personal favourite GT3 cars in terms of look. Performance, I've actually never driven it on this game, so it could be a little bit different to GT Sport. GT Sport, it was nice on GT Sport, but there were just other cars that were better than it. It's kind of like, I don't know. We'll gloss over that train of thought. Danny Fox on the hards. He's gone up into 2nd place ahead of Play Dutchy on the hard tyres as well in the McLaren. We've got 30 seconds almost left in qualifying. Wolfie in 4th ahead of Bon Evil in 5th. Actually, I haven't checked if my audio is okay, but we'll do that quickly now. We might give the drivers a few extra seconds in qualifying. Yep, sounds all good on my end, so hopefully it is on yours as well. Any issues, let me know in the chat. We'll just go for a 30-second warning. There we go, 30 seconds left. Dan Schneider looks to be set for provisional pole position in the Nissan GTR. I think Attengren was the last time we saw someone use the GTR in a GT game. Play Dutch has put himself back up on the front row of the grid behind his fellow Dutch competitor, although on 2 different tyre compounds. And that is it. Quali is over. And we're going to start the race. Can I do it here? No, we have to do this. Start the race. There we go. So it is Dan Schneider on pole position from Play Dutchy in 2nd. Danny Fox in 3rd with Wolfie alongside him on the front row of the grid in 4th. We're not going to get any fancy graphics because this game isn't working yet. But Wolfie in 4th, although Bon Evil in 5th, Asetta in 6th, ahead of Pierre in 7th, Ted in 8th, P-Bib in 9th, Joe Black in 10th, and I think it has actually set the qualifying grid. The 5 red lights will build up on the centre of the screen, and when they go out, we're going to go racing here in the Red Bull Ring. It's lights out, and away we go, and it's a slow and cautious start from the back end of the field. Lots of wheel spin from Piero in the Hyundai. Bon Evil with a brilliant start, up into 2nd place already, challenging Dan Schneider. They're 3 wide on the exit of turn 1. Danny Fox trying to go round the outside of Bon Evil. Play Dutchy dropping a few positions from the start, down into 4th place, but alongside the McLaren, the two McLarens actually, as Osetta follows them behind in the Peugeot. Going into turn 3, Wolfie's late on the brakes on the inside. He might have hit Play Dutchie, who's hit someone who's gone round. It's carnage. Play Dutchie's got engine damage. Someone else was round. That's Danny Fox round. He's got front right suspension, rear right suspension damage. Dutchie though, falling towards the back of the grid with damage. Ted with front bumper and suspension damage. Piero damage. Wolfie's got damage. I think the front 3 are the only drivers who haven't collected damage from that turn 3 incident. I think it looked like Wolfie a little bit, maybe a day too late on the brakes. That has caused the incident. Piero's got damage. Ted, Joe Black hasn't got damage, nor has Pete Bibb. Everyone else though has collected some sort of damage. Dan Schneider will then lead the field away from Bon Evil, 9 tenths behind on the hard compound tyres. A setter on the mediums in the Peugeot, following Bonnie in the McLaren. If only we had a replay feature to see what exactly happened. Down at turn 3 on the opening lap, carnage as Piero and Ted stay out with their damage. Danny Fox staying out as well, but Play Dutchie forced to make an early pit stop. The last time I think he had engine damage on lap 1 in Alsace, back when we were in the Group 3s a few seasons ago, he went on and won the race. Joe Black and Pete Bibb wheel banging as they make their way up in towards turn 1. Smoke coming off the two sides of the cars. That's how much contact they were making. Going back up to the front of the field, Dan Schneider's dropped Bon Evil by 1.7 seconds, but is on the quicker medium tyres. And Osetta are doing a good job to keep up with Bon Evil, although he is on the mediums, goes for a move down the inside, and it's a pretty simple pass from the Italian driver, and his Gavra Racing debut puts his Peugeot up into the 2nd place. Dan Schneider though, with a 5/10 penalty, he'll have to serve that at the next penalty gate. You'll see that, yeah, there you go, the message appearing on the middle of the screen. You'll be forced to decelerate at the next penalty gate, and that is coming up now. We'll just keep on board with Dan Schneider to show everyone where the penalty gate is. Here at the Red Bull Ring, there it is, those 2 yellow boxes. He slows down for 5/10 before going back up on his way. A setter in 2nd place ahead of Bon Evil, ahead of Wolfie, who stays out with quite a lot of damage, ahead of Ted and Danny Fox. The damage, and Wolfie comes into the pits a lap later to repair the damage, and Ted rather lately follows him, and he may get a 3-second time penalty for going over the white line. It's tricky to tell where the track limits are for the pit lane, but usually alerted by the white lines. Pete Bibb following Joe Black in the run down towards turn 1, pulls over to the outside as Joe Black goes defensive, but pulls back over to the inside, outside, so he covers the racing line. Right on board with Pete Bibb, trailing the bright green Volkswagen up the hill. Who's going to be later on the brakes? Will Pete Bibb be able to send one on the inside? Not quite. And I've only just noticed that the car Pete Bibb is driving has got a manual gearbox in the Supra. Took me a while, but we got there in the end. So Play Dutchie, 43 seconds behind the leader. Pierre into the pits with damage as well. I'm not sure where he's collected that from. Engine damage for the Frenchman is going to be way behind the rest of the field. They're almost getting lapped by Dan Schneider, who's 5 seconds clear of Osetta and Bon Evil, 4 seconds ahead of Danny Fox, Joe Black and Pete Bibb, running in 5th and 6th place, ahead of Ted and Wolfie, 2 teammates, and they both got 3-second time penalties for cutting the white line on the pit lane entrance, just as I suspected. Ted left it very late when coming into the pits, and it looks like Wolfie must have done the same thing as well. Is anyone? Oh, Pete Bibb's on the wall! Pete Bibb's on the wall by the pit lane. He's going to be able to cut back across the track as no one coming back through. Don't know whether there was contact between him and Joe Black, but as you can see, we're right on board with Ted. There is the white line. You can see the dotted white line showing the pit lane entrance. Ted did go over the Austrian flagged AstroTurf tarmac sort of stuff, which is why they got 3-second time penalties respective. Dutchie onto another set of hard compound tyres, as well as the 2 Irishmen in front. but Dan Schneider leading this field. Bon Evil's got back up ahead of Assetto into second place, and I'm hoping we get some wet weather here tonight. It is on random, the GT7 equivalent of dynamic, as some F1 viewers would be more aware of, so it does have the possibility of rain. I am hoping we get a dynamic race, because it would be the first of GT7. This is only the second event we're running on this game, but it would be nice to see a change in the weather. Bon Evil coming under significant amount of pressure from Assetto behind. He's going to go down the inside and towards the final few corners, but backs off in the end. Bon Evil maintains second place. Assetto, though, on those medium tyres, they're going to wear out a lot quicker than the hards, but they should be quicker. As I was looking at my phone, I'm not sure what's happened to Assetto. I'm not sure how he lost it there. Apologies for not getting the best view, but I was trying to get the stream back up on my phone. And Assetto with front bumper and suspension damage. Did he run into the back of Bon Evil? That was so bizarre. 1 minute I'm trying to get the stream up on my phone, and the second minute he's got damage. If someone in the chat who was actually watching it, could they let me know what actually happened? That was really weird. Did Bon Evil brake test him? I don't know. Because running into the back of someone doesn't give you damage if they're both foot to the floor. We've seen a number of drivers bump drafting in the past. Could someone in the chat let the commentator know what was going on, because they weren't watching the screen? That is, yeah, not great on my behalf. I have now got the stream up on my phone, so I can almost get a replay feature. Ted now has engine damage. Where does that come from? We've been racing for 7.5 minutes, and I think the entirety of the grid, apart from the top two, Joe Black and Pete Bibb, have collected some sort of damage. Pierre almost over a minute behind the leader. Assetto's into the pits to repair the damage. There's not really much to say at this point. The entirety of the grid are pretty much evenly spread out. So Dan Schneider leading the field away, 8.6 seconds clear of Bon Evil, ahead of Danny Fox, who still has that rear right suspension damage. Joe Black in fourth place, 10 seconds behind Danny Fox and 10 seconds ahead of Pete Bibb. Pete Bibb being closed down by Wolfie, 3 seconds is the gap. Flay Dutchy now ahead of Assetto, 1 second separating those two. Piero 30 seconds behind Assetto, and Ted is into the pits to repair the damage. As Dan Schneider's lost it in the wall. What is happening? What has happened to Dan Schneider? Assetto's gone off as well. So bear with me, guys. What? I have no idea what's happening. Born Evil now leads this race. Ahead of Danny Fox and Darren Schneider with engine damage halfway down the straight. Is there something that we're not seeing on the start-finish straight? Born Evil going all the way to the right by the pit wall. Darren Schneider's into the pits to repair the damage. Joe Black rounds the final corner. Let's see where he goes down the start-finish straight. He... rather in the middle. What about Pete Bibb? Is there something that we're not seeing on the start-finish straight? Pete Bibb picks up a 5/10 penalty for track limits. Wolfer goes over to the right. I think there might be something or someone in the middle of the start-finish straight that we can't see. I don't know if that's what happened to Darren Schneider. He now rejoins the pits in 8th place. Was leading this race, and Pete Bibb's round. There might have been contact between him and Wolfie. I'm not sure. Has got rear damage. Wolfie doesn't have damage, so he might have just dropped it by himself. I don't know what's happening here at the Red Bull Ring. 8 laps into a 27-lap race. Ted and Bonnie both going over to the pit wall. And Danny Fox appears to stay straight. Let's see what Joe Black does. Joe Black more or less the middle. Wolfie runs wide at the final corner. That could be a 5/10 penalty. It is a 5/10 penalty. He goes over to the right of the pit wall as well. Dutchy though Dutchy's going down the middle. Straight, well, over to the left-hand side. As Pete Bibb looks to be getting overtaken by Dan Schneider. Dan Schneider almost pushing Pete Bibb up the hill and to run down towards turn 1. Pulls back over, pushes him off the track. What is happening? That's Pete Bibb with more damage. Can they not see Pete Bibb maybe? That could be the issue. Apologies about this, we're 10 laps into the race. Let's see what happens. Right, apologies, I'm just going to pause the stream and then we'll be right back when I get everything sorted. So apologies guys, I'm going to end the stream here and then I'll get part 2 up when we'll get back for the race. So apologies, see you for the second.